On tomorrow's Ohio primary, the plural self, and what it means to vote when you're not sure the building will hold. Tomorrow's the Ohio primary. Vivek Ramaswamy versus Amy Acton for governor. A U.S. Senate race, dozens of school levies and local races across Northeast Ohio, and somewhere in your body right now, if you are the kind of person who watches live philosophy videos on a Monday night, there's probably a feeling that is hard to name. Not quite hope, not quite cynicism, something more like, I don't know what I'm doing when I vote anymore, but I'm going to do it anyway. That feeling has a name in Jung's philosophy. It is called recursive construction. And tonight, I want to talk about why it might be the most honest relationship you can have with a ballot. Most political communication asks you to feel certain. Your candidate is right. The other side is dangerous. The stakes have never been higher. Vote like your life depends on it. And maybe it does. I'm not here to tell you the stakes aren't real, but Jung's philosophy starts with a different premise. Reality is constructed, not in the conspiracy sense, in the philosophical sense. The way the political world is organized, the categories, the binaries, the who counts as a serious candidate is not a neutral given. It is built by specific people with specific interests, and what gets built can be named, questioned, rebuilt differently. The demand that you feel certain before you act is itself part of the construction. Certainty is a product the political system sells. It makes you easier to sort. Young says you do not need certainty to act. You need honesty about what you are doing. Here's what Young's plural self means in the voting booth. You are not one voter with one clear set of interests making one rational choice. You are a plural self, multiple registers, multiple histories, multiple versions of yourself that want different things. The part of you that watched your neighborhood school close, and the part of you that pays rent, and the part of you that worries about your kids, and the part of you that is so tired, and the part of you that still somehow believes things can be different. These are not in agreement with each other. They do not produce a unified political preference. And the system asks you to collapse all of that into one bubble on a ballot. Young says that demand, the demand that the plural self choose one and call it the true self, is the demand that amputates most of what you actually are. You can vote and know that the vote does not contain you. You can participate in the construction without pretending the construction is complete. You can choose a candidate while knowing the choice is partial, provisional, made with incomplete information by a self that is not finished figuring things out, that is not delusionment, disillusionment. That is the plural self being honest about its condition. The fifth pillar of Jung's philosophy is recursive construction. You build anyway. Knowing the building is provisional, temporary, knowing the foundation is not solid, because the recursive attempt, the return to the beginning with what you learned on the last pass, is the only form of integrity available. Voting is a recursive act, not because it will fix everything, not because your candidate will win or, if they win, will do what they said, but because showing up to the construction site is itself a form of integrity. The attempt is the work. Amy Acton ran the Ohio Department of Health during COVID. She will face Vivek Ramaswamy in November. That is a real choice with real stakes for real people in the state. The school levies on the ballot tomorrow in Northeast Ohio, in the districts that are already stretched past what they can hold, those are recursive attempts. Communities returning to the beginning with what they learned on the last pass and trying again. You go, you vote, you know it is partial, you do it anyway. That is not naivete. That is Young's fifth pillar practiced in a school gymnasium on a Tuesday morning. I want to be clear about what I am not saying. Young's philosophy does not tell you who to vote for. It is not a political program. It does not promise that something that's showing up will change the outcome. What it offers is a way of being inside a broken system without being broken by it, a way of acting without pretending your action is more than it is, a way of holding the grief about what the system cannot do, alongside the attempt to push on the parts that might still move. The witness votes, and then goes home and continues witnessing without concluding. Tomorrow, go vote. Know that your vote does not contain you. Know that the system is a construction and the construction is contested. Know that the building is provisional and you are building it anyway. Bring your plural self to the booth, all of it. The tired part, and the hopeful part, and the part that isn't sure, and the part that showed up anyway. Here is the ballot. Here is enough to mark it. Here is enough.